There are 4 fascinating games this week in NFL Week 15. I call these snake charmer games. These are games that I think are incredibly fascinating, that they're not necessarily the best matchup, although these 4 really are great matchups, but they're games that I just am very curious about. The storylines compel me, and I'm just excited to watch. The first game I want to talk about is the Dallas Cowboys playing in Indianapolis against the Indianapolis Colts. It's an early Sunday game. If you're on the West Coast in the morning, if you're on the East Coast, it's 1 o'clock. This is why this game is so interesting. The Colts are 7-6. So are the Ravens. So are the Dolphins. So are the Titans. All 4 of those teams are vying for the final wild card spot in the AFC. The Colts got to win. They got to keep their playoff hopes alive and beat the Cowboys on Sunday. And the Cowboys are 8-5. And they're in a spot nobody really expected them to be a couple weeks ago. They're number 1 in the AFC East, and they have a 2-game lead in the AFC East. The Dallas Cowboys can afford to lose. The Colts cannot. It's a must-win game for the Colts, and I think the Colts are slightly overmatched. Here are the matchups that I think I'm really curious about. The Colts have the number 8 offense in the NFL, and the Dallas Cowboys have the number 4 ranked defense in the NFL. Defense is slightly better, higher ranked than the Colts offense. That's what I'm excited to watch, is the way the front 7 plays against the Indianapolis Colts. How does Andrew Luck handle pressure? Do they get a lot of pressure on Andrew Luck? I think Andrew Luck's going to be under duress all game. The next thing is that the Colts have the number 8 run defense in the NFL. They play the run really well. They've invested in some young linebackers. They've drafted really well. They have the number 8 run defense in the NFL. Now the Dallas Cowboys have the number 6 rushing game in the NFL. Their yards per game, they're getting 132 yards per game. What I'm excited to watch in the Colts and Cowboys game is just a physical brawl. It's going to be a physical, tough matchup. Watch the linebackers. It's going to be really exciting. A lot of hitting. Who can run the ball? Who gets after the quarterback? Here's the one storyline I want to watch that you might not know about. Dak Prescott, the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, leads the NFL in fumbles. He has 12 this year. And I'm curious, does that come? I think it's hopefully a close game. I don't know. Could that be a deciding factor late in the game? Does Dak Prescott have a fumble that turns the tides and hurts the Dallas Cowboys? The second game I want to talk about, the second most fascinating game in the NFL this week, in Week 15, is the Dolphins at the Vikings in Minnesota. It's also an early Sunday game, again, 10 o'clock on the West Coast, 1 o'clock on the West Coast. East Coast, you know what I'm saying. East Coast, 1 o'clock, West Coast, 10 o'clock. The Dolphins are 7-6. They're one of those teams right in the cusp, trying to get the final wild card spot in the AFC. And the Vikings are in the exact same position. The Vikings are 6-1. They are trying to get the final wild card spot in the other conference, the NFC. Here's a wild stat, though, that I think makes this game fascinating. The Vikings have the number 1 third down defense in the NFL. And in contrast, a horrifying reality for the Miami Dolphins is the Miami Dolphins have the 30th out of 32 teams with third down conversion percentage. Their offense is terrible on third down. And they're going up against a team that's fantastic on third down. I think it's very possible that the Dolphins are going to get waxed by the Miami Dolphins. The Vikings, I think, might decimate the Dolphins. The Vikings have one of the best passing offenses in the NFL, a top 10 passing offense. And by the way, the Miami Dolphins have a bottom half of the league pass defense. They're 25th out of 32 teams. I think the Vikings could dominate the Dolphins. If you look at the statistics, you say, well, look, the Dolphins are terrible on third down. The Vikings are great on third down, their defense. The Vikings offense throws the ball incredibly well, and the Dolphins defense is terrible against the pass. Those combined add up to probably an ugly game for the Miami Dolphins. I'm curious if that all turns out to be true. The fourth game I'm really fascinated in the NFL this week is the Pittsburgh Steelers against the New England Patriots. It's in Pittsburgh. This is a Sunday afternoon game. It's 4 o'clock, I think 4:30 on the East Coast, 1:30 on the West Coast. The Patriots are 9-4. And right now they're the number 2 seed in the AFC, but not by much. The Patriots are 9-4. The Texans are also 9-4 head-to-head. The Patriots have the advantage, but the Patriots have to keep winning to keep the Texans from breathing down their neck. And if the Patriots don't get the number 2 seed, they don't have a bye week in the first round of the playoffs, and they would not have a home playoff game. Now, the Steelers, on the other hand, are 7-5-1. They also have to win this game. So the Patriots are in the playoffs, I think, regardless. The Steelers are in danger of not making the playoffs if they don't win. They're 7-5-1. The Ravens are 7-6, breathing right down their neck, possibly going to take the division from them. The Steelers have to win on Sunday. This is why it's a wild matchup, though. The Steelers are incredibly talented. They are a far more physically gifted team than the New England Patriots. But the Patriots have coaching and scheme. And this is one of those cool matchups where David versus Goliath, not necessarily, but you have physical talent versus scheme and preparation. This is what I love. My favorite movie, Rush, is a movie about 2 NASCAR Formula One drivers. It's my 3rd favorite movie of all time. It's fantastic. It's about guys who have different opposite approaches. One guy's really prepared. The other guy's really talented. And when they clash, it's fantastic. This is a similar matchup to the movie Rush with the Steelers and the Patriots. Tons of talent versus tons of coaching and preparation. I don't know who's going to win, and it's going to be really exciting to watch on Sunday. My final game I want to talk about, it's actually Monday Night Football between the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. The Saints are 11-2. The Panthers are 6-7. Normally, this is not a great, intense matchup, but here's why this game is interesting. The Panthers at 6-7 are 1 game behind the Minnesota, like half a game actually behind the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 6-1. The Panthers are 6-7. They're both vying for the final wild card spot. The Panthers need to at least win 2 of their next 3 games if they want a shot at the playoffs. And it's especially wild because the Panthers play the Saints this week. They play the Falcons next week, and then they play the Saints again 2 weeks from now. It's very rare to play a team 3 times in 2 weeks. 2 times in 3 weeks. That's what the Panthers and the Saints are doing in the next couple weeks. It's fantastic. The Saints have the number 1 run defense in the NFL. In contrast, the Panthers have the number 1 run offense. We are going to see a clash of the Titans on Sunday. I think it's going to be a very physical game, really fun to watch. Again, the Saints have a great defense against the run. The Panthers run the ball incredibly well. Who's going to win? I don't know. It's going to be fun. It's going to be intense and wild. I just cannot wait to watch the Saints and the Panthers. Again, my 4 games I'm excited for. Saints and Panthers. Patriots, Steelers. Cowboys, Colts. Dolphins, and Vikings. Those are my 4 snake charmer games I'm really excited to watch in the NFL Week 15. Hi, my name is Zach Schaumler. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It is my favorite thing in the entire world. Honestly, I hate doing these little pitches. I feel like kind of a used car salesman, but I have to tell you, if you don't subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports, please do. Subscribe on YouTube, on iTunes, on SoundCloud, Spotify very soon. It helps me. It means a lot to me. And if you really like Strong Opinion Sports, tell your friends. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow by telling your friends about the show. My name is Zach Schaumler. Thank you so much, and have a great day.